The masked truth. A resolute, tormented policeman, Kai has spent countless sleepless nights pursuing elusive leads. Formerly a member of an elite force, his world fell apart when his closest friend, Thanin, disappeared while investigating a human trafficking ring. Determined to uncover the truth, Kai's relentless pursuit has him to the brink, isolating him from everything but the mission. Now he sits Sarin's modest apartment, staring at an untouched cup of coffee, his reflection flickering its dark surface. Sarin, a compassionate nurse who has tended to his wounds countless times, takes his hand gently. Her voice is soft, yet it carries an ooning strength. "You can't keep chasing alone, Kai. Let me help." Her words hang in the air, both lifeline and as wrestles with the path ahead. The phone's sharp ring shattered the silence. Kai answered, his expression hardening as he listened. Without word, he grabbed his jacket and headed for the door. Sarin followed, worry etched her face. "Please come," she whispered, the words lingering in the long he left. Kai navigated the tempest, the rain lashing against him as he approached the village. It was unsettling, boarded-up windows, deserted streets, and a flickering sign providing feeble illumination outside a lapidated bar. The locals within recoiled from his inquiries, their silence more deafening than the thunder raging outside. Meanwhile, back at her clinic, Sarin treated her with a wound across his arm. As she worked, his words spilled out in a shaky, pain-laced whisper. "The masked man. You don't want to know." Sarin's pulse quickened, her hands steady as her mind raced. Hours later, found himself in a darkened house, his flashlight illuminating dust-covered notebook concealed within a broken safe. The pages were filled with cryptic notes and symbols. He barely begun to examine it when the faint footsteps outside made him freeze, gun in hand, he towards the door, every nerve on edge. Sarin's call came through just as he was leaving. "The name Nalini keeps coming up here," she said, her voice low, and, "Be careful, Kai. Something feels wrong." Her words prophetic. In a dimly lit warehouse, Kai found encircled. The trafficker's assault was swift and brutal, fought with precision, each movement calculated. When the smoke, he upped to see her, a woman, a shimmering silk dress, observing from a balcony with chilling smile. "Nalini." The woman stepped the light, her presence commanding even amidst the "Heroes die chasing the truth," she stated, her voice through the haze ablade. Back at her clinic, Sarin meticulously examined the medical records, stomach sinking as the connections became clear. Nalini was not just a name, she the mastermind, with her on shadowy aspect the trafficking network. Meanwhile, Kai pieced another clue. A Traff's weapon bore a strange insignia to a pendant Nalini had worn. The pieces of the puzzle were, but the picture they formed was darker than had imagined. Sarin's peaceful night was abruptly disrupted when masked intruders did into her. They restrained her with rough, unyielding hands. Later, Kai's phone buzz, a video of Sarin, gagged and visibly terrified, with a shadowy figuring, "She is leverage." The threat was underscored by a cryptic note delivered to Kai hideout. Its message, written in red ink, was succinct. "Some truths are dangerous. Leave, pays the price." Kai followed the faint trail that led him to her estate. Through a network of tunnels, he heard her cries, muffled but unmistakable. With each forward, the weight of the danger pressed from all. Sarin, despite her fear, remained active. She whispered Didier's doubts into her captor's ears, twisting their thoughts. Her calm and words spread ace, unravelling their unity. Nalini approached Sarin's cell with an offer laced with malice. "Betray Kai, and I will grant you freedom." Sarin's resolute silence fueled Nalini's rage, causing her to falter momentarily before she exited in a storm of anger. Kai infiltrated the under the cover of darkness. Alarms zarred, and guards scrambled, their shouts piercing the still jungle air. Sarin seized her opportunity, freeing herself a knife dropped in the chaos. She crept through the estate over Nalini, arguing with masked. When Kai finally burst into the inner sanctum, Sarin locked in a standoff with Nalini. A man stepped forward, his movements deliberate as he removed his mask. Kai breath caught. Was Thanin, his old ally, his brother in arms, his betrayer. Thanin's voice was cold, his justification cutting. "The system is broken, Kai. The only way to fix it is to take control." Nalini's predatory smile indicated to Kai that she shared the same twisted vision. Kai aimed his gun, hands trembling as his mind waged between justice and revenge. Sarin's voice broke, steady and... "You do not have to be like him," her words anchored him. Slowly, Kai the weapon. The silence was short-lived. Within the hall of the estate, Kai and Sarin engaged in a battle. Glass shattered, furniture splintered, and each resonated with years' betrayal and anguish. Kai knelt beside a dying Thanin, his breath laboured. "You were my brother," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. Thanin's final laugh was bitter. "That is why I had win." His became still, leaving Kai with the burden of their history. Nalini's haunting laughter reverbered through the jungle as she vanished into the shadows. Kai, a fleeting glimpse of her figure disappearing, serving as that this battle was far from over. The village revived with activity, its inhabitants liberated from the traffickers' control. Sarin diligently attended to the wounded, her hands unwavering despite her fatigue. Kai observed from afar, contemplating the price of their arduous triumph. In still day, Sarin knelt beside him, gently touching his hand. She attended to his. "You are flawless, Kai," she murmured, "but you my hero." On a cliff overlooking the endless jungle, Kai and Sarin stood side by side as the first light of dawn broke the horizon. Kai's voice was resolute, his eyes fixed on the distance. "This isn't over." Sarin smiled, her presence steady beside him. "Then we'll face it together."